What's up guys, so welcome to the second tutorial of Svelte Kit. But before we start this tutorial, I want to tell you something, that I have merged all the 34 videos of Svelte framework series so you can complete that course in one go. So who doesn't know what the heck Svelte is, go and watch this. How much views you gonna milk from just one course? Work on your another course, so stop it, gets it. Okay, so we got amazing support from you guys on the first videos of this series. That video crossed 150 views in a day and we got some subs as well. Alright then, so the easiest way to create a new Svelte Kit app is by using this command right here in the docs. npm create svelte at latest. And then give it a name, in this case my app. So before you do this, you will need to install an up-to-date version of the Node.js. So make sure you download Node. Once that's done, open up a terminal and navigate to the directory that you want to create this project in. And then type out that command that we just saw, npm create svelte at latest. And then whatever you want to call your application. So I'm going to call it anime-shows. And then hit enter to create it. Now after a second, it's going to ask you if you want to generate a starter demo project which comes with a ton of boilerplate code, components and routes. Or if you want to start with a blank skeleton project which comes baked with just the bare bones. So this is the option that we are going to choose. Well, because I want to teach everything from scratch, so hit enter on that. And then this is going to create a blank Svelte Kit project for you. Alright, and then when that's done, what I'm going to do is cd into that new project directory. So first of all, cd anime-shows, and before I do anything of this other stuff here, what I'm going to do is open this up in VS Code. So to do that, I'm going to type code and then a dot, then press enter. It's going to open this up in VS Code for us. Well, you don't have to use VS Code if you don't want to. You can use a different editor, but I'm using VS Code. So this right here is our skeleton starter project, and I'm going to walk you through these different folders and files shortly. Alright then, so now then we want to install all the dependencies, and to do that we need to open up a terminal and make sure you are in the root folder of the project down here. In a second, anime shows, and then just type npm install and hit enter. Alright then, so now that's done, we have installed all the dependencies and now we can walk through these folders and files, because at first you have never used Svelte Kit before, it can be a little daunting. Now before we do anything, there is a package actually I want to show you, which I would recommend installing for VS Code, and that package is called Svelte for VS Code, this one right here. So just search for it at the top and install this package, and that gives us syntax highlighting for Svelte component. Otherwise VS Code might not work without components very well, so install that before you do anything else. Alright then, so let's go through these different files and folders. So first of all, we have the Node modules folder right here, and this Node modules folder is where we install or keep all of our different dependencies. So you know what we just said, npm install, and that installed all the dependencies. Well, that's where all of these live right here in the Node modules folder, and we don't need to go in there, that's just where they are living. Next up, we have a source folder, and this is where all of the magic happens. The source folder is the place you will be writing about 99.9% of your code. You will create file components in here, create routes in here, create API endpoints in here, and you can even write any global CSS in here too. What the... Sorry guys if you heard some kind of music. I didn't put any kind of background music in this video. It's just here's a gym near my place. I didn't get why people goes to gym. Knowledge is much hotter than muscles, guys. Grow up.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Who's gonna rock you when the sun won't let you sleep?
So we were talking about the source folders, so for pretty much all of the course we will be focusing on this source folder. Inside here we already have a root folder as well, and that's where we will be making all of our page components, but we will talk about that a little bit more later in this course. Also, in this source folder we have the app.html file. This is the single HTML file that gets served to the browser on any initial request to the server. Inside the HTML file you are going to see these little special placeholders values, so head and Svelte body. These are the places which will render our component on the server. We don't really need to ever edit this HTML5 much unless you have a really specific reason to do so. So finally down here we have a static folder which is for any static assets like a fab icon or any static images or media that you need to make public. Now also there will be a bunch of extra files at the end too. A git ignore file, which is for version control if you are using Git. Our package files for tracking dependencies, a readme file, and also a couple of config files too, which we might talk a little bit more about later on. Alright then, so the only thing really left to do now is preview this in a browser to see what it looks like from the off. So I'm going to open up a terminal again, and inside here I'm going to type out npm run dev. Now this is a script found in the package.json file. So let me press enter, and it's just going to take a second. And right here, this is the URL. We need to go to preview the site. So I'm going to click that. So this is our starter project. So guys, this is all the index components which we just saw over here inside the source folder inside routes. And if you haven't watched the first introduction video, then click on the left video. And if you doesn't even know what the heck Svelte is, then click on the playlist on right hand side. And I'm creating a playlist of this Svelte Kit course as well. You will find the link of that playlist in description of every videos of this course. Okay guys, that's all for today, and I'll see you guys in the next video.